Welcome everyone. We'll get started in just 2 minutes. And welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, we'll be starting in 1 minute. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Carly Rixum, Executive Director of the American Solar Energy Society, and I'd like to thank you for joining us on our monthly webinar series. Before we get started, I'd like to update you on who and what ASES is doing and highlight some of our current events and local programs. The American Solar Energy Society is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established in 1954 and advocates for sustainable living and 100% renewable energy by sharing information, events, and resources to cultivate community and power progress. You can join our community anytime at ases.org/join. Our 50th annual National Solar Conference, Solar 2021, Empowering a Sustainable Future, will be a hybrid conference taking place in Boulder, Colorado from August 3rd to 6th at the University of Colorado, Boulder, and online. We want to invite you to join us by registering at ases.org/conference by August 1st. You can use the promo code on the screen, POWER21, for 10% off your entire registration. ASES also invites you to join our online community. This is a place for our community to collaborate, share content and information, and network with each other. By joining ASES and participating in our community, you'll have the chance to win solar-themed prizes. So be sure to hop on and start engaging at community.ases.org. Thanks for taking the time to listen to our ASES updates. I hope you can join us at our conference in August. This webinar will be available in a recorded format soon, and we'll follow up with everyone once it is available. Be sure to submit any comments in the chat section and any questions in the Q&A. Today's webinar is all about the National Solar Tour, one of our major programs. So I'll now turn things over to our presenter today, Narelle Kippel, our National Solar Tour Director and ASES's Membership and Programs Coordinator.
Hello, everybody. Like Carly said, my name is Narelle Kippel, and I am the Membership and Programs Coordinator here at ASES, and I am directing this year's National Solar Tour. So I'm very excited to be here today with you all to kind of go over what the National Solar Tour is, how to get involved in not only hosting a local solar tour or solar site, but also to attend and partner with the tour as well. And I'm going to pass it back to Carly Rixum to go over what the National Solar Tour and why it's so important.
So this year's tour will be both live and virtual experience on October 2nd and 3rd. The National Solar Tour is the largest grassroots solar event in the nation. It's an opportunity for solar enthusiasts to share their process of going solar, the benefits and the lessons learned to attendees and to educate and further the integration of renewable energy. It's also an opportunity for people interested in or considering going solar to learn about it from real people in their area or across the country. They can get their questions answered about finding resources for financing, getting recommendations for installers, learning about any local laws, local incentives, and start their transition. The National Solar Tour creates a platform for organizers to host their events, resources and support before, during, and after hosting the events, and promotion of local solar tours and open houses. Research shows that people are inspired to install solar panels because they see them on nearby homes. Solar panels tend to be clustered in certain neighborhoods rather than evenly distributed throughout a city. A Yale study shows that the installation of one additional solar photovoltaic rooftop project within the past 6 months increases the average number of installations within a half-mile radius by almost 1/2. These findings suggest that seeding solar panels on a few houses in neighborhoods where they are sparse could help residential solar spread faster to more homes. So although in these times of COVID, we don't like the idea of something that's contagious, the National Solar Tour uses this concept by helping to spread solar contagion. The strongest predictor of whether a house will have solar panels is the density of solar panels on neighboring properties. Next slide. So here we have an old flyer from the passive solar tour of homes in Golden, Colorado, from our local chapter, the Colorado Renewable Energy Society, as well as a photo from 1937 of a house with solar on it that was refurbished with new solar panels and was actually part of a local solar tour a couple of years ago by our local chapter there in Florida, the Florida chapter, the Florida Renewable Energy Association. As for the National Solar Tour, what began as a local solar tour and sustainability tour at the Solar Living Institute in Joplin, California, a former ASES chapter, under the direction of John Schaefer, expanded to become the National Solar Tour in 1995. So here we are in our 26th year of the National Solar Tour. Back to you, Narelle.
Awesome, thank you, Carly. And so before we get started, I do want to go over some different terms that will be thrown around on this webinar. And so the first thing, as Carly stated, was that this year we will, for the first time ever, be having in-person, virtual, and hybrid events during the National Solar Tour this year. And so these events are going to range from all different things, from solar sites to local solar tours. And a solar site is a solar or sustainable site. And these sites can range from anything from homes, businesses, nonprofit organizations, religious institutions, municipal buildings, schools, community solar gardens, electric vehicles. Pretty much anything that is solar and sustainable, you can host on this tour. We have everything right now from homes to businesses to a tiny home that a college is putting together and putting solar on the roof of. And so with all these different solar sites, there's also local solar tours, which are a collection of solar and or sustainable sites in a specific area. And so local solar tours are created by organizations or a person who recruits their network or local neighbors to join their tour and teach others about solar by hosting a site on their specific tour. And these sites can be driven to, bike to, walk to, and they can be in a neighborhood or a town, or some virtual tours could be spread out all over the country. And so first up, we have our local solar tours, which will be in person. So for in-person local solar tours, these events have to be all in-person solar sites. So there can't be any virtual tours or hybrid tours on a fully in-person local solar tour. And in-person events really are kind of like a realtor showing an open house. You can tailor it to whatever you're comfortable with this changing times. You can have it be a fully outside tour where nobody is coming inside your house. You can allow people to come into your home or solar site and see your heat exchanger or different solar and sustainable features up close and personal, but require masks. Or you can make sure that they take their shoes off so they don't track dirt throughout the home or solar site, whatever you're most comfortable with. And so with our local solar tours for in-person, virtual, and hybrid, we are creating custom RSVP web pages for everybody if you want them. If you do have the technical ability to create your own web pages, you can do that as well. But if you do choose for ASES to create a web page for you, a in-person local solar tour web page will have the local solar tour name, a description of the tour, so the feature photo, an RSVP form so that you can know how many people to expect at your home or solar site, and then space for your local or national sponsors, and then tour organizer contact information. If you are comfortable with people reaching out to you to ask direct questions, you can have your email listed on the web page, or you can opt to not have your email listed as well. And for our in-person local solar tours, since you will be having people come to your solar sites, we will have your exact location of the starting location be where the pin is on the map. And then for our virtual local solar tour web pages, or our virtual local solar tours, these have to contain all virtual solar sites. And so virtual solar sites will be that same tour of people learning about solar and sustainable features of your solar site. Instead of in person, it'll be through either a video or photo tour. And so with that, we suggest that you take either a video of you walking around your solar site and showcasing all the sustainable features, or some photos, and then this will create these virtual photo tours. And so again, we will create those custom web pages for you, or you can create your own if you are comfortable with that. And so this will be similar to the in-person local solar tours, where we'll have the name, the description, but what will be different is that on October 2nd and 3rd, all your solar sites on your tours, those videos and photo tours will go live on October 2nd, where for in-person solar sites, they obviously don't have videos, so it'll just be the location of those sites. And then our hybrid local solar tours has a mix of both in-person and virtual components. So for these hybrid sites, it can be anything from fully virtual, like just a video tour, or a fully in-person tour, or some also hybrid solar sites which contain both in-person and virtual components. And again, we make custom RSVP pages for you that are similar to both the in-person and virtual components of the local solar tours, where you will have your feature photos, your descriptions, all your solar sites listed, and you'll also have that RSVP form. And then on October 2nd, those virtual tours of yours will go live as well. And again, we do want to stress that you do not need ASES to create a web page for you. If you are able to create your own web page, we will take that pin on the map and direct all the attendees directly to your web page. But if you don't have the capabilities, ASES is here to help you create that web page for you. So now we're going to go into the different solar sites. So as I mentioned briefly, for solar sites in person, this is having it so that you don't have any virtual components to your solar site. everything is in person. And so you are welcoming people to your solar site. And again, this can be outside only, indoors with masks, or really any different style you want to do. That's the great thing about the National Solar Tour, is it really does allow flexibility to how you want to host these events. We're really just the platform to help you promote your event and give you some resources to help it be successful. And so with that, we do create these custom web pages for our solar sites as well. They are similar to the local solar tour web pages, where they will showcase that feature photo, get the name of your solar site, and have that RSVP form for in-person. And then for our virtual solar sites, again, these are those video or photo tours. From last year's virtual tours, we did learn that the average watch time of a video tour was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. However, you can create a video as short as 30 seconds to as long as 20 minutes if you have a lot to share. We do just say that studies did show that last year the average watch time was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. And so with that, the one change we do have this year is that you will be uploading your photo tour, or I'm sorry, your video to a hosting platform, whether that be YouTube, Vimeo, or any other web page, and then you'll be sharing the link with us at National Solar Tour to put on your web page. And for our photo tours, you can host up to 10 photos to be a part of your tour. And you can we've had a lot of questions asking if you can upload slideshows. Unfortunately, you cannot upload a PDF onto our forms, but there is a way that you can break up if you create a slideshow, you can break up all the slides and download them as individual photos, and then you can upload those photos to be your photo tour. And if you have any questions with that, you will find details of this in our resource section, but you can always email solartour@ases.org with any questions. And so then we have our hybrid solar sites. So for those of you who are looking to have people come to your solar site and learn about solar in person, but also have created solar site videos or photo tours for last year, you can have them both by hosting a hybrid solar site. And so this has both that in-person component and that virtual component. And so with that, you can, when you do choose the hybrid solar site, it will ask for the dates and times that you want to host your in-person event, and then also have a space for you to upload your video or photo tour. And so next up, we are going to get into how to sign up for a local solar tour. And so there is one form to sign up local solar tours and solar sites this year to help mitigate some confusion that we did have with all the different forms last year. And so you do want to make sure to have your video or photo tour ready to upload when you are hosting a virtual solar site. But if you do have an in-person solar site or local solar tour, it is quick and easy to sign up. The sign up form, when you are ready, only takes about 5 minutes, and we will quickly run through how to do this. So as you go to nationalsolartour.org/sign up, you will get to this page. And the first question is, are you a solar site or a local solar tour? And so there is 3 different options here. For our first one, we have a solar site that is just a solar site and you are not a part of a local solar tour. And so for that, we are calling you a standalone solar or sustainable site. Then we have our local solar tour, which you are signing up the tour, not signing up a solar site that is a part of the tour. But our third option is for that, where you are a solar site that is a part of a local solar tour. And so we're going to quickly go through all these options on how to sign up. And so when you click your selection, you will get to the point where you add your entry. And so with this is the meat and potatoes of the form, where you fill out all your information that creates that web page for you, or you can also opt out to not have the web page here and add the link to your local solar tour or solar site here too. And so first and foremost, you're going to go into filling out your contact information. To save time, since we have a lot to get to today, I'm not going to fill in all the details, but we do ask that you fill out this form in the order that you see the questions, because as you select different options, different questions will pop up for you. And so this, again, has you filling out only the important information we need for your web pages, and not have you wasting time with information that doesn't apply to you. And so first we'll have your contact information. Again, with the street address, for an in-person local solar tour or solar site, we will be using your full address on the map. For a virtual, we will only be using the city, state, and zip code to protect your identity and where you live, so you don't have people showing up. And so we want to fill out that information. If there's any additional contacts, you can hit yes and then fill in their information as well. If you have more than one, you can click this plus sign and you can keep adding as many additional contacts as you have. Then we get into the different solar site information. Right here is a drop down for home, business, school, government building, nonprofit, religious institution, community solar array, and vehicle. It'll ask you slightly different questions for all the different tabs or all the different options, but the majority of the questions will be the same. So we'll go for the home for right now. You will create a name for your solar site. This can be as creative or uncreative as you'd like. And then a short description about why should attendees come to your site? What will they gain from coming there? So a quick little description to share information. Please upload a photo. So this just gives our map and shows where they will be coming to. So if it is in person, then they can at least match the house with what they saw on the map as well. And then if it's virtual, it just adds a little bit more of an incentive to watch your videos or see your photo tours as well. And so we do ask for landscape for this so that it fits better on the page and looks nicer. And then little information about your system size, what sustainable features visitors can experience at your solar site. And then this is the big question of whether you're hosting your solar site in person, virtual, or hybrid. Based on this selection, you'll get 3 different other forms that pop up to really get the details we need from you. So for in-person only, it's going to then ask you if you want that web page. If you say no, you put in the link to your web page and we'll direct everybody there. And then if it is, you do want the web page, it will ask whether you'd like your email on there or not. And then it will ask just about the details of when you plan to host this event. So the date and the time. If you're hosting more than one day, again, just hit that little plus. You can list as many days as you like. If you decide you only want to go to one day, you can remove it by hitting the minus. We do offer our in-person local solar tours and solar sites the option of getting yard signs and brochures to have at their solar site or on their local solar tour. And so they are double-sided corrugated plastic. And then the brochures include information about local solar tours, solar sites, some good information about switching to solar or sustainable features of homes, businesses, and schools, etc. We do ask to lower our environmental footprint, that you reuse signs from previous years. You can just take some white duct tape to cover up old writing on the signs, and it also helps ASES reduce costs. But if this is your first time hosting a tour, you can opt in for yard signs and brochures. And then with that, you can say yes and answer those questions, or you can opt out by hitting no. Then finally, for in-person is quick and simple. It just asks about whether you've hosted before and any other details you'd like to add. And then you can stay in touch by receiving ASES, and then you will hit add entry when you are finished. So then for our virtual solar sites, we will, again, it'll ask you if you want that web page or not. If you opt for no, you can fill in the link with the web page you have created. If you opt for yes, it will ask if you want your email on your web page. And then it's going to ask for all your virtual solar site information. So if you opt for a photo tour, you then will select the files and be able to click different files that you would like to upload. Or if you hit a video tour, it will ask for that link that off of YouTube, Vimeo, or whatever platform you will be hosting your video on. And again, for photo tours, it does ask for a little bit more detail of, since attendees won't be hearing your voice, we ask, and it's mostly just photos, we ask for a little bit more information on your process of going solar. And then after that, again, it's just asking for that previous experience and final details. And again, since the hybrid for a solar site has both the components of in-person and virtual, you will then be putting in the date and time along with your photo or video tour as well. And then all you do to finish up the form is hit add entry, which mine's going to give me a lot of errors because I didn't fill anything out. So I'm just going to hit cancel here. But you will have the solar site listed where it says there is no entries. Your solar site name will be listed there. And then you will go down and just agree to our terms and conditions, basically saying that for ASES is just the platform and we're not responsible for anything that happens during your solar site. And so then you hit submit and you will be all set for signing up your solar site. And then a local solar tour is even a faster form, as you won't be uploading any information about the for photo or video tours. So again, you will just have all the information for contact information, your address, and then if there's any additional contacts, your local solar tour name. Please be very specific with what you put in there, because for your solar sites that sign up a part of your tour, this will come down in a drop down. So make sure that you let everybody know that your local solar tour name, so that your solar sites are able to easily sign up their tours under your tour, or their sites under your tour. Again, you'll go into the description and make this general about the entire tour and not specific solar sites. And that landscape photo, the sustainable features that you'll see across all the different solar sites. And then again, if you're in person, virtual, or hybrid. And if it's in person, it's going to ask for that RSVP page and really just ask about the date and time. And then also, if you're interested in those yard signs or brochures. For a local solar tour, you will be collecting the yard signs and brochures for your entire tour. So the solar sites that sign up individually from you will not be receiving yard signs and brochures. You'll be receiving them for your entire tour. But again, help ASES reduce cost and our environmental footprint by reusing or coming up with your own yard signs. And so at that point, you'll do previous information and then any final details. And again, hit that add entry to make sure that it's added to your form, and then you will submit it. But for virtual tours, it again just asks if you want that web page. And then for that, it'll have the contact information, and it'll also ask if you're interested in live streaming any of your parts of your tour. So for virtual solar sites and tours, you can live stream. And you can do this through Facebook, Instagram stories, or any other live streaming services. And we'll put those links on your tour webpage or solar site webpage so that people can attend them live, and then you can record them and add them to your solar site pages or local solar tour pages after the fact. And so if you do click this option, we will be in touch with you directly to go over the logistics of that on a one-on-one basis. And so then that's really all the questions we ask you for a virtual local solar tour. And besides for the previous experience and the final details. And again, you just hit add entry. And then, like always, the hybrid has both the components for what I just went over for the in-person tour and the virtual tour. But again, and then when you're finished, you can hit add entry. And so it is a very quick and easy process for signing up these solar sites and local solar tours. Signing up a solar site as part of a local solar tour is super simple as well. The only difference of signing up from the solar site that we first went over is that you will be prompted this question, which local solar tour are you a part of? And there will be a drop down of all the different local solar tours that have signed up so far. So this brings up a really good point of that. If you are a local solar tour host, you need to sign up your local solar tour first before your solar site sign up so that you are added to this drop down menu. And so you can select any tour and then fill out your solar site information, and you will automatically be populated onto that solar site's webpage. And so that's the only difference. And then you won't be asked about, if you are an in-person event, you won't be asked about yard signs and brochures, because your local solar tour host will handle that question. And so that is the quick and simple, hopefully painless way to sign up your local solar tour or solar site on the National Solar Tour. And so I'm going to go back to our presentation, and I'll answer any questions you guys have about signing up at the end. And so we also, like I said, we want to keep this process as simple and easy as it is for you guys. So we have created extensive resources that you can get to at nationalsolartour.org/resources. And with this, we created different toolkits for in-person local solar tours and solar sites. And then we also created how-to guides for our virtual local solar tours and solar sites. And so on the website, you can download the full toolkit or how-to guide, or you can download individual documents that are laid out about that are in that toolkit to make it super easy, so that if you are a local solar tour host, you can share how your solar sites that are a part of your tour, how to sign them up, just that one document rather than just sharing the whole toolkit with them. And so in these toolkits, you'll find different press releases to help generate attendees, along with getting participants to join your tour if you are a tour host, sign-in forms to have at your solar sites or local solar tours, different release forms. And then on the how-to guides, we go over how to create the perfect video and photo tour, and how to upload those videos to hosting platforms, how to download your slideshows into individual images, social media and graphics and captions that really help you promote the event and get lots of attendees to either come to your solar site or watch your videos, and a lot of other great information, tips and tricks along the way as well, which we'll go over on the next slide. But also, if you do think of something else that should be added, or you have any additional questions, the National Solar Tour team is here to help you along the way. So always feel free to email solartour@ases.org with any question that does come up. And so we do have a little tips for hosting in-person events, and this is for both local solar tours and solar sites combined into one. We always say lots of signage. The more you spread the more word, the more people will come to your local solar tour or solar site. This is also an educational event, so make sure that you have a lot of different educational materials, whether these are details on installers or the different what your heat pump manufacturer was, different cards of business cards for architects or builders, brochures with all the different features that they got to see at your home or business, different literatures of how you went about renovating your house and making it more sustainable, and always have name tags so that people know you are the host, as some events can get very crowded. If you can get a builder or installer or any manufacturer there in person for your event, that's always an added bonus. It can drum up some business for them, but also they can answer more technical questions that you may not be able to. You can also have a laptop that showcases different features that they might not see as part of your tour, something that's in a crawl space of a basement, or the solar panels that might not be very visible on the roof and such. We also make sure you're very clear with the rules of your home or business, whether they can keep shoes on or shoes off, and different information like that. If you are hosting a local solar tour where the sites are close together, have signage to get people to the different events, or if they are very far apart, do really detailed maps so that people are able to move from home and business seamlessly. We always say to emphasize energy efficiency before renewable energy consumption, because the less energy we all consume, the better for the planet. And it's always, whenever you go to any different home or business and they have some snacks there, it's always an added benefit, or some water for attendees as well. And most importantly, have fun. This is a great event where if you are attending, you're learning a lot about renewable energy and sustainable living. And then if you are hosting, you're doing a great thing, as you're educating a lot of other people who are looking to start their transition to a more energy efficient home or business. And so for our tips for hosting the virtual component, so a lot of people have made videos going around their home or business that they're not in, and so it's not as personal. So make sure that you show your face and you get some screen time as well, and showing all the different aspects of your home or business that are solar and sustainable. You can always ask a relative or friend for help. Make sure that that camera stays still so it's a smooth video and not all shaky. Choose a good background so there's some fun behind you. You can get your pets or other funky things involved to spice up the video as well, or photos. Make sure you have good lighting on the day where you do take your photos or videos so that they are clear and crisp. We also, for those videos specifically, we want to make sure we limit the background noise and keep a close distance between whoever's videoing and yourself or the features, so that it is clear and easy to hear you, along with you can see the details of the sustainable features as well. And like I said earlier, our average watch time from 2020 was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Again, you can host a video from 30 seconds to 20 minutes if you want, but that was what we found most people resonated with. And we always suggest that you print out our National Solar Tour sign and get that in your photos and videos so that you can help spread the word. And again, have fun. This is a great event for everybody involved. And so now we're going to switch to kind of partnering with the tour. So if you do own a company or organization or are a part of an organization, help us spread the word and we'll help promote your company or organization. And so we will post your logo on the National Solar Tour or on our website, and it will be linked to your website so that attendees or anybody who scrolls on that page can immediately click and learn more about your company or organization. And in return, we ask you to ask your network to get involved in either hosting or attending our tour. And you can do this via either email or through social media. Again, the more we spread the word about the tour and the more we get involved, we'll have more participants that will show up to all your different local solar tours and solar sites. So help us help you by becoming a partner of the National Solar Tour. And you can do this at nationalsolartour.org/partners. And then last but not least, attending the tour. So this is a great event, as Carly Rixum said in the beginning, for people who are looking to go solar or increase their sustainable living, to learn from real people and their neighbors and people local or people across the country. And so come learn about the solar and sustainable upgrades for your home or business by attending the National Solar Tour. We do have a bunch of different ways that you can RSVP. So you can RSVP to individual local solar tours or solar sites by clicking on the individual web pages for all in-person or hybrid events. And then as for the virtual component or the tour at large, we do have an RSVP page, which you go to nationalsolartour.org/RSVP, and we ask a couple questions about your solar knowledge and what you're looking for, and then you can add this event on October 2nd and 3rd to your calendar. Again, because we're not very strict on having, you can host a local solar tour or solar site all throughout the year and we'll still have you on our map. There is some events that have started already or are coming up throughout the summer. So always check out our map at nationalsolartour.org/map for any events that are happening now or this week or in the next couple of days. And so again, the National Solar Tour is a great way to learn. We have so many different features on this tour already, from tiny homes to businesses to religious institutions to sustainable gardens and xeriscaping to heat pumps and everything in between. So each home or business or site on this tour is very different. And so you can start poking around now, see the ones that interest you. And again, on our map, you can search by sustainable features. And so there is a bunch of different sustainable features at all these different sites. And so you can lock down on a few that you're really interested in to come up with those perfect homes, businesses, or schools in your area that will really interest you and teach you the most about what you're looking to do for your solar site. And then hopefully in the next few years, if not sooner, you will be hosting on the National Solar Tour. And so again, for all of our events and information, you can go to nationalsolartour.org/map and poke around there, click on all the different events, RSVP to the ones you're interested in going to. And then we will be sending those RSVP lists to our solar site and local solar tour hosts. So they will be able to get in touch with you if anything changes as well. So RSVP on the National Solar Tour. And so with that, that wraps up my presentation, and we can now open the floor for any questions that you guys may have about the National Solar Tour. Thank you so much for coming on this webinar and listening to me.
Thank you, Narelle. A reminder, if you have any questions, to pop them in the Q&A. I'll start with a question from Julianne Carney. She asks, what is the average number of sites on a tour? Does it matter?
So it does not matter. You can have anywhere from 2 solar sites, because obviously one would be just a standalone, but 2 solar sites and up. We've had last year with the virtual component, we had some that had up to 30 solar sites.
Okay. Has there ever been an issue with liability for in-person sites, i.e. what happens if someone injures themselves at a site? I could answer this. To my knowledge, we have not had a liability concern. However, we would recommend that you create a liability waiver for your participants to sign upon entry of the tour. If you're interested in further protection, you could always get an event insurance for your local tour. Next question. Where do I find the info submitted previously if I want to make changes? Is there a link?
So currently we do not have a link for you to access your to go back in and change things for your solar site or local solar tour. However, any changes can be made at any point. If you go and just email me at solartour@ases.org, I can make those updates for you. And so you can see what you currently have submitted by going to nationalsolartour.org/map and finding your solar site or local solar tour. And again, if you have any updates to make, you can email me at solartour@ases.org and I can make those for you.
Great. Tom Amiro asks, do you have examples from previous years showing some sites?
So we currently have a bunch of solar sites up already. If you go to nationalsolartour.org/map, I guess if you're looking for videos, I can send you some example videos as well, or photo tours if you're looking on the virtual component. Obviously, we don't have a lot of, we have some photos along the way, like on this slide is a bunch of different photos from some different tours or solar sites along the way, but we don't have any information on how people give their tours, examples of that way. But what we do suggest is that when you are hosting an in-person tour or creating that video or photo tour, really sharing your solar story, the good, the bad, and everything in between, what prompted you to go solar, the good experiences, who you used, if they were good or if not, and also the different struggles you had, how you got your financing, different information like that. The more information you share, the more helpful your event is for those who attended.
Great. And Tom also asks, does your resources folder have these tips slides?
Yes, they are all found on either for the virtual, they are found in those how-to kits, and then there is a tips page for the in-person toolkits.
And a question from Rebecca Limpelaire. If we sign up for an in-person event or hybrid event and there are new restrictions because of COVID, will we be able to switch to virtual only?
Yes, definitely. We, of course, this year keeps throwing new obstacles around, but because our platform is able to host virtual, it will be a quick fix if you just send me an email with the video or photo tour that you would like to update, and I can update your solar site or local solar tour accordingly.
Thank you. And Kathy Cryan Hicks asks, is the NST from last year on your website still so we can view it?
Currently, it is not. because we switched to a hybrid platform, we had to redo the whole web page. If you are looking for specific videos from previous years, I do, for your solar site in particular, I can send you the link that we used last year. I do still have access to all of them, but they are no longer up on our site, unfortunately. We do plan on keeping video tours up longer this year and hopefully using them for future years so that this will forever be a resource for everybody to use to learn more about solar.
Great. All right, looks like those are all the questions that we have for today.
Awesome. Does anybody have any more questions before we wrap up? And then there may be a few people, if there's no questions on here, there may be a few people who have hosted solar sites and local solar tours before. And if there's anything I missed or tips that you would like to give, you can feel free to do that in the comment section, because I know that helps a lot of first timers in hosting their first event.
Thanks, Narelle. We really encourage all of you to sign up to host a local solar tour or a single solar site. So please do so. Oh, it looks like we've got one more question from Julianne. Are more people drawn to home sites, or do you find attendance at churches and government buildings as well?
This we saw from our videos last year. Last year was my first tour, so that's really all I can speak to. And so with that, we saw that attendance was pretty consistent through all different types of videos, whether that was at different churches or religious institutions, businesses, organizations, and homes as well. I will say homes are most popular on our tour, but I would say attendance-wise, we saw it pretty evenly distributed.
Great. Okay, looks like that takes care of the questions from everyone. If you have further questions, please contact Narelle at solartour@ases.org. Again, this is the 26th anniversary of our National Solar Tour, and we're just so excited about this program. It really is an effective program for increasing solar adoption. We couldn't do it without your support. More information can be found at our website, nationalsolartour.org. And of course, our homepage, ases.org. So thank you all so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the tour. Have a great day.
Bye, thank you.